All right, guys, let's have a look at example 11. Sorry, example 1. Example 1 says state the gradient, y-intercept, and the coordinates of the y-intercept of each of the following. So these are all equations of straight lines, all of them. And the general format is y is equal to mx plus c. But you can see that some of these lines are not in that form. It's not in that format. Now, the objectives of this activity is to manipulate your equation so that you get it in the form y is equal to mx plus c, because once it is in that form, I can say what is the gradient m and what is the y-intercept c. So let me find one of the more difficult ones, turning the page. Let me do, let us say, IV, all right? And then you can do triple I. All right, so I'm doing IV. Now, IV is the equation of a straight line, but it is not in the general form. I'm told, just having knowledge of this equation alone, I must state what the gradient is and what the y-intercept is. To do that, I have to first manipulate my equation to get it into the form y is equal to mx plus c. So guys, everybody look. I have what? Let's get the y over to the left. Negative 5y on the right goes over to the left and becomes positive 5y. Over here, over the right-hand side, I already have 4x, and positive 15 on the left goes over to the right and become negative 15. So what I have is 15 goes over here and 5y goes over here. All right, so the last thing, remember, I want to y alone over there. I'm going to divide the entire equation by 5. I'm going to divide everything in the equation by 5 so that I'm left with only y alone on the left side. So this is 4 over 5x minus 3. All right. Now, guys, once it is in this form, y is equal to mx plus c. M is the gradient. It's the number in front of x, so it's 4 over 5. This is the gradient. The number at the end, c, is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is minus 3. That's the y-intercept. Now, the y-intercept is on the y-axis. So 0, 0, minus 3 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. So it's something like this I want you to do. But before you do it, I'm just going to give you a sketch. This is not necessary, but I'm going to give you a sketch of what this graph would look like. It's just a sketch. Y-axis, x-axis, -2, -4, -6, 2, 4, 6, 8. If I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm just giving a sketch. And by the time we finish this topic, you will be able to do this as well. All right, this is the origin. The graph cuts the y-axis at -3. So the graph passes through this point. The gradient is 4 over 5. So the line passes, let's change the color ink. The line passes something like this. All right, as I said, um, by the time we're done with the topic, you will be able to draw a sketch like this. This is a sketch of the line y is equal to 4 over 5x minus 3. All right. Now, this point here is called the y-intercept. It's on the y-axis, which is the line x is equal to 0. And it's on the horizontal line, y is equal to minus 3. So 0 minus 3 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. As I said, guys, it is a sketch. And by the time we finish with the topic, you will be able to do a sketch like this. All right, so I'm going to erase the sketch. It's not important now. What I want you to do is what I just showed you to do, showed you how to do. All right. What I want you to do now is manipulate the equation so that you can say what the gradient is, what the y-intercept is, and what the coordinates of the y-intercept is. Please do triple I. So let's do triple I. We have 3y is equal to 2x plus 6. Negative 6 goes over and become positive 6. Then I'm going to divide the entire equation by 3. When I do that, I'm going to have y is equal to 2/3 x plus 2. So now m, the gradient, is the number in front of x, that's 2/3. C, the y-intercept, is the number by itself, which is 2. And 0c, which is 0, 2, are the coordinates of the y-intercept. All right, very quickly, guys, do V and VI. Very quickly, do V and VI, then I will do VII. Do V and VI and type your answers in the chat. All right, so for V, again, we are asked to state what the gradient is, the y-intercept, and the coordinates of the y-intercept. So let's make y the subject. Minus 2y is equal to 3x minus 6. Then I'm going to divide the entire equation by minus 2. So when I do that, I'm going to end up with y is equal to minus 3 over 2x. Guys, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 2 into 6 goes 3 times. So once in this form, m, the gradient is minus 3 over 2. Correct your mistakes if you made any. The y-intercept, c, is equal to 3, and 0, 3 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. All right, let's have a quick look at VI. Minus 5y is equal to minus 7x plus 10. Positive Positive 7 on the left goes over to the right and become negative. Then I'm going to divide the entire equation by -5 so that I can get y to be the subject. So I have y is equal to 7 over 5x. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 10 divided by -5 is -2. So m, the gradient, is the number in front of x, which is 7 over 5. C, the y-intercept, is the number at the end, which is -2. That tells you where the graph cuts the y-axis. And 0, -2 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. Guys, we need to be able to manipulate an equation, a linear equation, to get it in the form y is equal to mx, and from that form be able to say what the gradient is, the y-intercept, and the coordinate of the y-intercept. Guys, I'm doing vi, and then you will do v triple I. So we have x over 3 plus y over 7 is equal to 1. Now, I'm changing the color ink so you know what was there versus what we did. So first of all, I'm going to put 1 over 1. Now, this is an equation with fractions. Now, we want to get rid of the fractions. Guys, from your previous class, the class before this, the class from last year, when we did algebra, everybody should know that if you have an equation with fractions and you want to get rid of the fractions, one way you can do it is to find the LCM, use the LCM, and then discard the LCM. Guys, what is the LCM of 3, 7, and 1? What is the LCM? 21. 3 into 21 is 7. 7 times x is 7x. 7 into 21 is 3. 3 times y is 3y. 1 into 21 is 21. 21 times 1 is 21. So guys, I found the LCM. I used the LCM. Next, I'm going to discard the LCM. Discarding the LCM means going forward, I go forward without the LCM. So now I have 7x plus 3y is equal to 21. 3y would be equal to minus 7x plus 21. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3, the entire equation by 3. I'm going to end up with y is equal to minus 7 over 3x plus 7. So now the gradient m is minus 7 over 3. The y-intercept c is 7, and 0, 7 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. Are the coordinates of the y-intercept. All right, guys, I just did the we started out with an equation with fractions. We found the LCM, used the LCM, and then discard the LCM to get rid of the fractions. Then we manipulated the equation to get it into the form y is equal to mx plus c. Guys, please do VII. And type your answers in the chat. All right, guys. Let's have a look at V triple I. We want to determine what is the gradient, what is the y-intercept and the coordinates of the y-intercept of this equation, of this linear equation. So to get rid of the fractions, I'm going to find the LCM, use the LCM, and then discard the LCM. The LCM is 10. 2 goes, so I found it, now I'm going to use it. 2 into 10 goes 5. 5 times x is 5x. 5 into 10 goes 2. 2 times y is 2y. 2 into 10 goes 5. 5 times 3 is 15. So I found the LCM, use the LCM. Next, I'm going to discard the LCM. Discarding the LCM means going forward. I go forward without the LCM. So we have 5x minus 2y is equal to 15. I need y by itself. So we have minus 2y is equal to minus 5x plus 15. Divide the entire equation by minus 2. So y is equal to 5 over 2x, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. 15 divided by 2 is 15 over 2, or I could say 7.5. So therefore m, the gradient is 5 over 2. C, the y-intercept is minus 7.5. So 0 minus 7.5 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. I also said I'm going to do x. So everybody pay attention. Now in x, same thing we need to do, determine what the gradient is, what the what the y-intercept is, and the coordinate of the y-intercept. Now, at x, it's equation with fractions, but with x, what we have is one fraction is equal to one fraction. And if we have one fraction is equal to one fraction, one way to get rid of the fractions is to cross multiply. So this is going to be 2 multiplied by 1 minus 2y is equal to 3 times x, which is 3x. Next, I'm going to remove the bracket by applying distributive law. Distributive law says whatever is in the bracket is multiplied by what is immediately outside the bracket. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times minus 2 is 4y. And this is equal to 3x. I need y by itself. Minus 4y is equal to 3x minus 2. Then I'm going to divide the entire equation by minus 4. And I get y is equal to minus 3/4 x plus a half. The negative divide by a negative is a positive. M is equal to minus 3/4. C is equal to a half, and 0.5 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. Guys, please do IX. All right, so next, or the last one we're going to look at is IX. First, I'm going to put x over 1. If I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, I'm going to cross multiply. I put the y minus 5 in brackets because whenever you're going to multiply a sum or a difference, you should put it in brackets. So 1 times 1 y minus 5 is y minus 5. Whenever you multiply something by 1, it remains the same. 2 times x is 2x. So this is much simpler. Y is equal to 2x plus 5. So m is equal to 2, c is equal to 5, and 0, 5 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. All right, I'm turning the page.